My name is Ashley, a Learning Lab specialist at the Gwinnett County Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to create your own professional headshot for LinkedIn to improve your profile. This video is part of the program Creating an Effective LinkedIn Profile, which will continue June 21st at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. Also, all of the equipment we'll talk about today is available to use for free with your library card at the Gwinnett County Public Library Learning Labs. You can get an out-of-county card for $40 a year. Let's get started. First, the most important aspect of any portrait is the lighting. Good lighting is the difference between a headshot looking professional or not. To begin, consider bringing someone with you or pair with a friend to photograph each other, as this can be a little tricky to do alone. You can also book a librarian to help you. For the background, there are several options. You can use a blank wall, a wall that isn't distracting, or you can set up a backdrop. Whether you're using a backdrop or using a blank wall, make sure you aren't too close to the background. You don't want the background to be sharp behind you where you can see all the different imperfections. So move your chair or stool slightly away from the background so it won't be in focus, and so your portrait will be the main focus of the image. At the Lilburn branch, we have a roll of white seamless paper, which is very common for headshots. Here I'll show you how to set it up. To set up the backdrop stand with a roll of seamless paper, locate the backdrop stand kit that's in a black bag. Take out the poles and 2 stands out of the case. To set up the stand properly, loosen the bottom knob and pull the middle of the stand up until the center is parallel to the ground. You don't want the center to be too high because then it will be more unstable. Repeat this for the other stand. Locate the 2 poles that have holes on the end. These attach to the stand, and clip them together at the center. There are arrows on the poles that show how to attach them. Line those up and twist. Now place the pole on top of the stand. Next, find the roll of seamless and untape the edges. With the roll facing you, make sure the paper is rolling behind and not in the front. And slide it onto the pole. Next, roll out the height of the paper that you need. Make sure you leave some space from the edge of the paper to the ground. Then you will need to clip the paper onto the pole to hold it in place. Center the paper, then clip the roll and the pole together through the back, like this. Repeat on the other side. Next, get somebody to help you, and with one person on each side of the setup, increase the height of the stands until it's the height you need for your headshot. To keep the paper from rolling up from the bottom, clip 3 to 4 clips on the bottom of the paper to weigh it down. And now you're ready to go. To take the images, you can use one of our cameras or you can use your phone. The lighting, the background, and making sure the image is in focus are the most important things to get right. If you use a lab camera, make sure to check the settings. If you aren't sure how to use the camera, put it on auto or watch the video links in the description to learn more about how to use our cameras if you don't know how. Next, let's set up the lights. We're going to do what's called 2-point lighting, which just means we'll light the face with 2 lights. This can be any 2 sources of light, and I'll talk about a few choices. To use the LED lights available in the lab, first set up a main light, or key light. Set up the light stand the same as the backdrop stand, with the center parallel to the ground, and screw the light onto the top. Plug in the light from the back to the wall and turn it on. Set the light to 100% power and 4800 for the temperature. The trick to lighting a person is that you want the light to be as big and as soft as possible. While it can seem confusing, the closer the light is to the subject, the bigger the light is to them, the subject. So we want our light to be very close. Move the light up and down and look at how the shadow looks under the nose. You want the shadow to be under the nose and slightly to the side. So put the light at about a 45-degree angle to the subject and above their face. Then let's set up a second light on the other side of the face. For the second light, you can use another LED the same way, but put it on a lower power, less than 100. Or you can use some kind of reflector to act as the second light. The point of this light is to add what's called fill, which is a less powerful light that fills in the dark shadows caused by the first light. So here I have set up a clip on top of a light stand, which is available in the lab, and just clipped a piece of foam board to it. Angle the board opposite to the light at the same height and angle, but on the opposite side, so it reflects the light back onto the subject. Next, as we can see, the main light is too bright and harsh. As I said, we want our light to be as big and soft as possible. So what we need to do is add a diffuser to the main light. A diffuser is something transparent that makes the light bigger and softer when the light goes through it. So I've set up another clip on another light stand and clipped the diffuser to it, then placed it in front of the main light. Now we can see that the light is bigger and less harsh on the subject's face. I'll also add that if you have glasses, you need to use some kind of diffuser on your light, otherwise you'll get ugly reflections on your glasses. So what you need to do is make the light big enough that it'll cover the width of your glasses to look better, so a diffuser will make the light bigger and make it more even over your glasses. 2 lights, or 1 light and a reflector, may be all you need to have good light for your headshot. As you shoot, make sure you check the frame to make sure none of the lights, stands, cords, any of that stuff is in your frame. And make sure the background is not distracting. A typical headshot includes your head and shoulders. If you reach your elbows, you're probably including too much. Be sure to also include a little space on the top of your head and on the side so the composition doesn't look too cramped. I usually like to bring the chin outward and slightly down when taking a headshot, and make sure the face looks relaxed and comfortable. Experiment and take a bunch in a row. Now that we have set up our 2 lights, I will add that you can use any 2 lights to accomplish this, including light coming in through a window and a foam board on the other side to reflect the window's light. A sheer curtain over the window can also act as a diffuser if you're following along at home. Just make sure that the background you're using isn't distracting. With this image, I think my background doesn't look quite bright enough, so I want to add another light onto the background. So I set up another light, the same as the main light, on a stand, and pointed it directly at the background. Because we're shooting a headshot, we're really only using a small area, so I want to make sure I point the light only at the background, directly behind where the head of my subject will be. That looks better. I like that as the final image. Now, since I brought a friend with me, we can now switch places and they can take my headshot for me. If you used your phone, you're done. Crop and adjust the image if needed on your phone and upload to your LinkedIn profile. If you shot with a camera, load your images onto the computer and save them onto an external drive like a memory stick. If you want to edit your headshot or resize it to a smaller size and you aren't sure how, or you want help with anything we went over in this video, book a librarian to help you. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to tune in to our YouTube channel on June 21st at 2 o'clock to learn more about how to create an effective LinkedIn profile. And look in the description to find links to reserve a lab or to book a librarian. Goodbye!